This is the 2025 Mazda CX-70, and it's a two-row, all-wheel drive SUV with a mild hybrid inline six-cylinder engine, great looks, and a raging desire to redefine Japanese luxury and crush the perception of European superiority that has pervaded the upscale automotive market for far too long. It's also got a lot of really cool features and a price tag that might surprise you. So let's take a look. Now, if you're at all familiar with the Mazda lineup, you may recognize that the CX-70 looks like it might have copied the CX-90's homework. The Mazda CX-90 came out a little over a year ago, and yes, they do share the same platform and much of the same design, but there's a few key differentiating factors that make this a great fit for an entirely different crowd. Starting with the exterior, the front fascia gets a minor facelift with these black honeycomb vents on the bumper and a revised grille insert. Those honeycomb inserts carry over to the rear bumper as well. And while the trim accents like this inline 6 badge and a few others are chrome on the CX-90, they receive a matte black finish for the CX-70. The CX-70 also unlocks a few color options that aren't available with the CX-90. Zircon Sand, Polymetal Gray, and the all-new Melting Copper Metallic. Top it off with a new wheel design, and you have aesthetic changes that are fairly minor but effective. The CX-70 looks slightly more likely to steal your girl than the CX-90, but it maintains that refined elegance of an upscale vehicle. Inside, we have a variety of interior options. There's a black, grayish, or red leather interior on the lower trims, and a black or tan quilted Napa leather on the Premium Plus. This is the aforementioned tan Napa leather, and they did a great job. The seats are supportive but not stiff, they're bolstered but not restrictive, and this suede insert on the seats is a nice upscale touch. Now, all trims come with heated seats, but for heated and ventilated, you're gonna want the Premium Plus trim. Now, I'm fairly tall, I'm about 6'3", but I'm built like a corgi. I got short legs, long torso. My head basically lives in the headliner, which might explain where all of my hair went. But finding a vehicle that I can fit into comfortably is quite a challenge, even for an SUV. But with the CX-70, I find that I have ample headroom. I can sit up straight, even with the moonroof. I've got room for maneuverability and more legroom than I know what to do with. And the rear gives you more of the same. Comfort and ample space extend to the rear bench seat, and you're graced with features like USB-C charge ports, rear climate control, integrated retractable window shades, and a great view of the world outside via that panoramic moonroof. Now, in the backity-back, you'll find one of the key differences between the CX-70 and the CX-90. The CX-70 jettisons that third row in favor of more cargo space for your stuff. With the second row up, you're looking at about 39.5 cubic feet of space, and with the second row down, you're gonna get about 75.3 cubic feet. And in addition to the space you can see here, you also have this secret compartment with more storage. For my own scientific testing, I found that 39.6 cubic feet equates to about 2 large suitcases, a carry-on, a toddler pack-and-play, a 10-man tent, a duffel bag, a tackle box, and my camera bag. And then there's that inline 6. Again, based on the same platform as the CX-90, it's the 3.3-liter inline 6. All trims are turbocharged, but like the CX-90, they've split the pack into 2 variants. Now, the turbo, 3.3-liter turbo, produces about 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque, while the Turbo S is going to produce about 340 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque on premium fuel. This is all paired to Mazda's proprietary 8-speed automatic transmission and their iActive all-wheel drive platform, which ultimately translates to a very smooth, luxurious ride. The shifts are smooth, you hardly feel them. Plus, on all but the Turbo Preferred trim, which is essentially the base model of the CX-70, you get up to 5,000 pounds of towing capacity, plus a special towing mode and a tow hitch view as a part of the rear view camera. Now, best of all, it actually works. I mean, some manufacturers will make towing capacity claims, but you wouldn't actually want to tow that with them. Now, I will admit I haven't done extensive testing, but I have done some testing pulling a boat with the CX-70, and it was no problem at all. The power is there, the stability is there, and I think it's a really good option for some of your mid-weight toys. If I were to sum up the CX-70, I would describe it as smart luxury. In it, you have a vehicle that looks great, and it has a lot of the design cues and features that you'd expect to see in a high-end SUV. It drives fantastically. The smooth, linear power delivery of that inline six feels like what you would want from a luxury SUV. Not to mention that inline six exhaust note. The interior is thoughtfully laid out in Mazda's human-centric design philosophy. Things feel as though they're where they should be, and there aren't miles of plastic everywhere, which honestly is more than I can say for a lot of the luxury cars I've driven. Speaking of other luxury vehicles, with the CX-70, you swap overly complex engineering of the European variety and astronomical repair costs and depreciation rates that'll blow your mind for a brand with a solid track record of long-term reliability. And it all starts at just over $40,000. Bottom line, the CX-70 should definitely make it onto your short list if you're in search of a new SUV. If you have numerous loin monsters as I do, you might want to look at the CX-90 with its third row. But for those searching for the intersection of style and practicality, you've got to take the CX-70 for a test drive at least. So what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the CX-70 or any additional questions you might have. Go ahead and leave those down in the comments and I'll get back to you when possible. And as always, thank you for watching.